I was hit by a knuckle duster. I immediately fell unconscious.
U tom trenutku ništa nisam pomislio jer sam se borio za život.
We want democracy, we want free society, we want the rule of law.
It is Saturday in Belgrade, and for 6 months now, every Saturday has been the same. Thousands of people protesting against Serbian President Aleksandar Vucic.
These are probably one of the biggest protests happening in Europe right now that you know nothing about. To find out why all of these people are protesting, we'll have to go back in time.
For most of the 20th century, Serbia was part of communist Yugoslavia, a country that was torn apart during the conflict of the early 90s.
Protesters claim current President Aleksandar Vucic has centralized power around himself and his party. Vucic, now a pro-European leader, was a Serbian nationalist who used to serve as Slobodan Milosevic's Minister of Information.
The overthrow of Milosevic in 2000 brought democratic changes, but almost 2 decades later, many fear Serbia is sliding back into authoritarianism. Protests began back in November when an opposition leader was beaten up.
I was hit by a knuckle duster. It was one serious blow in the back of my head, and I immediately fell unconscious.
Borko Stefanovic says he was targeted by 3 men in hooded tops.
While I was unconscious for 30 seconds or so, they were kicking me in the head and all other things.
The attack during a rally in a small town in central Serbia prompted thousands of people to demonstrate under the banner "Stop the Bloody Shirts." President Vucic condemned the violence, but Stefanovic still holds the president responsible.
He maybe didn't give an order, but he created this atmosphere in Serbia for 7 years, in which if you disagree with his policies, you're immediately and automatically enemy of the state. So we've been wearing targets on our backs for 7 years now.
The president himself says the majority of people approve of his policies. Recently, thousands flocked to Belgrade for a rally in support of Vucic, which he claimed was the biggest rally in modern Serbian history.
Birali ste me da radim ono što je najteže I ono što mora da se radi da bi Srbija živela I da bi vama bilo bolje I da bi građani imali budućnost.
Not everyone sees the brighter future. Some analysts say these changes are taking the country backwards.
Mi sada imamo par excellence primer nečega što se zove kompetitivni autoritarizam. To je sistem u kom vi imate demokratske procedure, znači na vas se dolazi putem izbora. I sa druge strane imate izbore koji nisu slobodni I pošteni. Rusija se može okarakterisati kao kompetitivni autoritarizam.
Izvinite, a o kojoj autoritarnosti I diktaturi možemo da govorimo? Kad ovdje neko slobodno upada u radio televiziju Srbije, kad ni na jednom protestu nemate policiju. Prvi put se policija na ovim protestima pojavila kad su upali evo ovu zgradu radio televizije Srbije.
He says protesters are being manipulated by his political opponents.
Oni su pokušali da navuku ljude I da kažu da je to samo građanski protest.
Srđan Marković helped organize the protests back in November. He's doing the same thing a few months later under the banner 1 in 5 million. This is a reference to President Vucic's comment that he wouldn't listen to protesters even if there were 5 million of them.
Now we see months of thousands of people protesting all around Serbia to say one thing. We want democracy, we want free society, we want the rule of law.
Protesters claim one of the biggest problems in Serbia is the lack of independent and free media. In 2018, 102 journalists were attacked across the country. I met one of them.
To je bilo 3 sata ujutro.
Milan Jovanovic is an investigative journalist whose house was firebombed last year.
Supruga bila je gore na spratu. Čula lomljavu staklo I puci ovdje ispred garaže. Trčala je dole I već je prizemlje bilo puno dima.
What did you think when your wife woke you up and said you have to leave immediately?
U tom trenutku ništa nisam pomislio jer sam se borio za život.
The man who is on trial for attacking Jovanovic is a former mayor of a Belgrade municipality. Jovanovic has written many articles about his alleged wrongdoings.
Kontrolisao je točkove u stranku, kako je počeo se bavi politikom, on je postao najbogatiji čovjek na teritoriji opštine Grocka.
The government condemned the attack and the mayor denies responsibility. President Vucic promised that whoever was behind the firebombing would be found.
Another issue here in Serbia is fake news. It has become very easy for misinformation to find its ways into the papers and be believed.
It's complete, like madness.
Maria Vucic spends her days following how Serbian media is covering the protests. Recently, the tabloids accused protesters of beating up a Vucic supporter so badly that he ended up in the emergency room. You mentioned there was a video of the man that was lying on the ground,
Yes.
and you used it as
As a proof that actually no one was violent. You can tell he's lying on the ground. They're trying to help him, but he doesn't want to get up.
These people are the protesters?
These people, yes.
On this occasion, Maria only needed to make one phone call to disprove the story.
People from the emergency room, they told us that no one actually called them that day from protests. And that's enough for us to claim that tabloids are trying to misinform the audience.
It is now a standoff in Belgrade. President Vucic has so far refused to budge, but protesters say they will keep demonstrating every Saturday.